Hey guys, welcome back to Quick Tips. Today we're going to be talking about how to build a deck quickly to speed up your workflow. There's a lot of different ways of doing it, and it also kind of depends on if you're a one-man show or if you work at an agency or in-house. You might have a standard way of doing it that the agency wants you to do. I'm going to show you a few different methods just so you have that knowledge base to kind of figure out how to work it into your workflow. So with that being said, I'm going to just talk about the fastest way, which is the Illustrator only method. Um, you've probably done this before, but I just want to walk everyone through it just so it's a simple, easy step-by-step process. So essentially, you use your artboards as the different pages of your deck. You paste things like page numbers or whatever you need on all of the pages to keep it consistent. And then you just organize the artboards up here in your artboards panel in order to keep them in the order you want. This is super fast. It works the best because you don't have to go to a new program. The hard part is it does have some limitations. Sometimes you can run into issues with file size because you might work with a lot of different elements in your Illustrator file, and so saving it out straight from Illustrator might include a lot of things you don't necessarily need in your deck. So that being said, I'm just going to quickly show how this is done. I'm just using my artboard tool. I slide it over. Oops, I still got that other layer shown. I'm just going to use my artboard tool, slide it over using Option and dragging, so that will copy it. So I've got my artboard. I could maybe do this a few different times. I personally like to keep them side by side so that you're able to see like the progression. And then if you need to add something like a title slide, I like to keep it on a separate row so that I can see like, okay, this is my title slide or setup slide or whatever it is, and then I'm going to jump into my actual content. That being said, I might need to show that this is a title slide, so I'm just going to add, copy and Command F over here to, you click on the artboard and it'll paste it to your artboard in the exact spot that it was before. So here's my title slide. I'm going to show this is art, this is work, and I could go through and paste onto every single page, page number or whatever else it is. There's an easier way, and I'm just going to quickly showcase that. I'm going to change this to page number since that's usually what I end up doing, or sometimes I'll say like option 1 or something like that. So there's the paste on all keyboard shortcut is Option Shift Command V. And I like to call this the claw because my hand kind of makes a weird shape when you're doing it. I like to use my P key for shift, holding down both Option and Command with my thumb put down sideways, and then V reaching over with my pointer finger. So it makes kind of this weird little claw shape. It's actually it's a keyboard shortcut in InDesign. It does a different thing, but here in InDesign or in Illustrator, it pastes whatever element it is that you have copied on your pasteboard to all of your artboards in the same location. So for example, if I hit that here and I've copied it, it's going to paste it onto all of these artboards, which is super helpful. The only thing I'd recommend is it also pastes it onto the one that you copied it from. So instead of hitting Command C to copy before you paste it, I just cut it with Command X. So you can see I actually already have another copy on there because I didn't do that. So now I've got my page numbers. This is where it does because, the cons of building in something like Illustrator, which is not necessarily made for this. I do have to go through and manually change the page numbers or other information like that. And the other hard part is it's a little bit trickier to see if I've like moved things, like let's say I accidentally moved this page number over. The best way to tell that is to copy from another one and just, paste over or do the paste in place thing. Otherwise, the next best way to find out if you accidentally nudge something is by exporting it as a PDF, and you'll notice when you click through it that something's wrong. So I'm just going to quickly show you go up to File, Save As. Instead of an Illustrator file, you're going to go to a PDF, and that will export it in that way. Usually keeps this file size relatively the same. Sometimes you can make it a little bit smaller, especially if you uncheck Illustrator editing capabilities. I wouldn't recommend doing that just in case you need to go back to it and make a quick change. It's nice because when you export it as a PDF, it does save it as a separate file. So, you could keep this in your presentations folder separate from your actual like working files. And if it does become a large file size due to embedded images or whatever else, you can always just drag it into Acrobat and optimize the file size, and you can bring it down. So that's the Illustrator only method. Super helpful, keeps it quick, but it does have its limits. So next we're going to talk about the InDesign. I'm going to actually get rid of all of these guys real quick. All right, so now we're going to talk about the InDesign and the Illustrator method. And this is actually my preferred method when I'm talking about building a style guide, or I'm trying to organize all my files or keep it in the same place, or if I'm going to pass files to another designer. I like to do it this way just because it keeps all the linked images all together. You know, you don't have a lot of issues with breaking links, especially if you've packaged it up. And so this really is, again, 3 steps. Get your layers in your file set up in a way that's going to make sense. Instead of dragging them out to different artboards, you kind of set it up in the layers that you'd like. You're going to place those into InDesign, or place your Illustrator file as a link by itself in your InDesign file, and then you're going to adjust your object layers. Super helpful. The only thing that I would say is kind of a bummer is it does require an extra step going into InDesign, but that's worth it to me for the ability to link and not have to worry about, you know, your organization and passing off the file. What is a bummer is once you're in InDesign, if you change the number of layers or the names of layers, you can break your links very, very easily. So I'd recommend doing this after you've done all the work you wanted to in Illustrator. So I'll quickly just show how this is done. I'm going to actually create 2 new layers here, and we're just going to show how, you know, you can go in. I'm going to take my logo, I'm going to paste it in the center here, and I'm going to make it black. Feeling good about that. Okay, so I've got my black logo, and I'm going to paste that again in the same spot. I'm going to make it a blue. So here we are. I'm going to name these layers. And this works really well if you're trying to build a presentation for a client really quickly, to show like logo options, for example. You can easily like align them all together, and you can see like let's say you brought it in and you realized that was the problem. You could highlight all of them, line them all up. You know that they're all about relatively the same size. You can kind of save yourself the sizing and comparison headache because you're able to have all of your layers up at the same time to make sure that they're all consistent. So what I'm going to do is actually save this file, and I'm going to open up InDesign. Here's my template that I'm going to be pasting into, and on, let's say I've got option 1. You just hit Command D for place. You'll select your Illustrator file, and you want to make sure that Show Import Options is checked. So you'll hit Open. It's going to bring up this pop-up, which has all of your Illustrator layers the exact same way that they're organized there. You're able to change how it's cropped. I always try to do it to the artboards or to the trim, just so it doesn't crop it right to the actual vectors of your artwork. And then if you've built your artboards the same size as your InDesign slides, we can call them, then you can easily drag and drop that way, or let me go back, or you can just click and it'll paste it in about the same size. Sometimes I'll like to make adjustments to keep it a little bit smaller so I can easily edit these things. But here what I've done is I've pasted in that black layer, and if I just hold down Option, create a new page, go up here, go to change to option 2. If you click on it again, you go to Object Layer Options. That'll bring up those layer options again, switch it to the blue. And so you can see how you can quickly go through a lot of different layers. You know, if you have 16 options, or maybe you have 4 options with applications of those things really quickly. You set those up on the Illustrator file. You've placed everything in the same places. Make sure everything's sized up correctly how you want it. All you have to do is just go through each page, go to Object Layer. You can even set a keyboard shortcut to that, black, blue, or whatever the name of your layers are. Hit OK, and it's a very easy way to just have that all. And let's say I didn't like that color of blue. Go up here, and I'm changing it to a different blue. I'll resave it. And because I'm referencing in my links that actual Illustrator file, all I do is I click on this main one, go over here, hit Update All Instances, and what that will do is it'll update it to exactly what it was in the Illustrator file. So I like doing this option for style guides. Let's say someone gives me a new logo or something like that. It's super helpful in that way. Finally, I'm going to talk about Keynote and Illustrator. And Keynote has a lot of flexibility as a program for building decks. It's the Apple version of PowerPoint or Google Slides. It works really well for animation transition. They've done a lot of things to keep it really like I don't know how to say it, like dummy proof, like anyone can use Keynote and make something that can look beautiful. It doesn't always work like we want it to, after working in programs like Illustrator and InDesign. Even though it is kind of dummy proof, it sometimes becomes harder for us designers to use because we're used to kind of a more advanced setup or a structure. But this does work really well when you're working in somewhere with a lot of other people besides designers. If you need to pass a file over to an account manager, for example, you might be able to pass it easier with them. And essentially, the main method is you copy and you paste into InDesign or into Keynote. And it works fairly well. And also, often, a lot of the time, you're able to add, different styles or change the colors or different things like that. You can even affect, the opacity. And it comes in as a pasted image, as a PDF. Sometimes you lose vector, but sometimes you don't. It just brings it in as almost like a clipping masked element. So all you have to do is just direct select that clipping mask. So, it's not recommended for, trying to really keep all your files organized. So keep a copy of everything within your Illustrator file, but it does help to pass files back and forth between people who may not have the Creative Cloud on their computers. That being said, I'm just going to quickly talk about, my main tips for Google Slides and PowerPoint. I don't personally own PowerPoint because I don't want to have to pay that money, and I've got Keynote and Google Slides. They do a lot of the same things. Both of them have export features to PowerPoint. The only thing that gets wonky sometimes is, elements will move around. It's not a one-to-one to PowerPoint. So often when clients ask for a PowerPoint, I will create a Google Slides for them first. And I'll just quickly show how I would, maybe do something like that. Make it a little bit bigger so that I can size it down after, as opposed to the other way, it gets really resi. I can bring in those different elements, build it, and then you just go to File, Download as Microsoft PowerPoint. It should bring it in. I also would recommend exporting it as a PDF and passing both of those. I know that the PDF wouldn't be editable, for example, but it would help to kind of show this is what it's supposed to look like. And if the client needs to make adjustments, if they don't have, this works the same thing for Keynote. If they don't have PowerPoint or Keynote, they can at least see what your vision was for it, and they can make any adjustments, or you can give any direction to them. My main thing is find out what works best for your workflow. If you're looking for additional help on any of these, let me know. But with that said, that's your quick tip for the day.